Hi everyone, hope you're doing good, and today I'm going to be entering Johnny Mac at Rock and Metal Plus's 500 subscriber contest. Now I've been watching Johnny ever since he was on like 100 subs or something like that, like sort of 2021-ish, and yeah, I remember around a year ago entering his 250 subscriber contest, so you know, in a space of a year he's pretty much doubled his subscriber count, and you know, it's massively deserved because his content is really awesome and he's a really cool guy. And of course he's a part of my live stream series on the Keep It Metal podcast, yeah, I wanted to do this video for Johnny and for his channel and his contest. So there's two fairly simple things that he wants us to do. First thing is to do a video and show 5 albums. They can be of any format, talking about the albums that got you into the music that you listen to today. Now, I've watched quite a lot of people's videos, and for the most part people have gone like all the way back to the start with like the first albums they heard that got them into rock and metal music. And I was thinking like I could do that, but I sort of interpreted it a bit different. I was thinking like literally the music that I'm listening to right now, instead of like what got me into like music to start with, because like that and what I listen to now is completely different. And so that's what I was thinking about, albums, like significant albums that I got into at a certain point, which definitely changed my music taste. You know, from around, I'm thinking around 2017, 2018. I was still at college at the time. Actually, I was in my last year of college, and basically at the time I was listening to Metallica, Megadeth, Ozzy Osbourne, Royal Blood, Rolling Stones, Jimi Hendrix, Gary Moore, Joe Satriani, stuff like that. But then I started to sort of get into a little bit more of the heavier side. I wanted something heavier at that point in my life, and the first one that I'm going to pick definitely was that Pantera, and this is Vulgar Display of Power. And this album was pretty big for me to get into a bit more extreme vocals, because Phil Anselmo's shouting, screamy vocals on this album was something that I hadn't really heard before, and I really liked it. And also the heavier guitar tone from Dimebag as well, and that sort of groovy sound, that sort of slowed down, heavy tone and sound that's on this album got me into a lot more groove metal. So after this I discovered Lamb of God, actually from my teacher at school. He was massive into Lamb of God, so he got me onto Lamb of God and Machine Head as well, a lot of the groove metal bands around that time. And also I got into a bit of Sepultura, but we'll probably get on that later. And from that I had some albums on my dad's computer that his mate put on, of more 2000s metal, because that's another thing that I'd never really listened to at the time. And one of the big ones that stuck out to me was this, Volume 3 by Slipknot. And this was the first time I heard true and proper extreme vocals with like clean vocals, melodic vocals. And this was a pretty big one for me, getting into more like 2000s metal. Yeah, the one I'm going to show after this is another example of that. But this one definitely got me into more extreme sounding metal, with the guitar tone again, like the down-tuned guitars from Jim Root and Mick Thompson. It just opened a new perspective of metal to me around that time. And yeah, I was addicted to this album, and the one with my t-shirt, All Hope Is Gone. And yeah, that moves on to this one, Trivium. Had to show Trivium, of course, because this band pretty much helped shape my style from that era to now. And again, with the sort of aggressive and melodic edge to this album, and ascendancy as well, that definitely got me into the metalcore scene. A lot of like bands like Killswitch Engage, As I Lay Dying, Parkway Drive, and Bullet for My Valentine as well. I really got into them kind of bands. Also some deathcore bands. Started to go a bit more into the more extreme metal vocals, with a bit of deathcore like Whitechapel and Suicide Silence as well, that I quite liked around the time. And so that kind of sparked a little bit more of like a death metal sort of influence there. And the band that definitely just 100% got me into death metal is Obituary, and this album pretty much, this was the first album that I got by them, their debut, of course, Slowly We Rock, and this had a thrashy edge that I really liked, because I was getting into a bit more thrash metal at the time as well, and again that will come on with my next pick as well. But this definitely cemented me getting into more extreme metal, death metal, especially, and it kind of spawned from there. Cannibal Corpse, Carcass, Bolt Thrower, etc, etc. But this was sort of the beginning, because I was going to see these on Slayer's farewell tour, but anyone who doesn't know the story, basically cut it short, we were meant to go, but we were waiting outside and we missed the whole Obituary set because the idiots on the blooming door were useless. So yeah, speaking of Slayer, that's my last pick, because these were like an extreme thrash that I'd not heard before, and this was my first album by them because I knew they were retiring, and this had a really cool live DVD on it as well, so I picked this up and I absolutely loved it, and then went back and listened to the classic 80s ones, and that really got me into that sort of extreme side of thrash metal. I got into Sepultura not long after this, and that also helped sort of cement that kind of death metal, extreme metal that I was getting into, which is now kind of turned into black metal as well now. So yeah, I'd say that out of the albums that I've shown, those are the biggest ones that have gotten me into the music that I listen to pretty much all the time now, from what I was listening to before then. So yeah, that's that. And the next thing he wants us to do is to give 5 shout outs to some YouTube channels, and that's it, because there's no actual date for this. So I'll just go through a few shout outs. So the first one I'm going for is Tony at Tainted Lord, and he's been supporting my channel probably longer than the majority of the people in the VC. He's been commenting on my videos for absolute years now, and yeah, he's really cool. He shows a lot of different stuff, you know, all sorts of metal and rock, very varied taste, which is really cool. He's been doing a cool series, like albums he's going to be spinning throughout the week. I really enjoy that. And also another reason is because he gave me a shout out in his video for this contest, so I thought I'd repay the favour there. Next one, Cristian Osorio, again similar, because he gave me a shout out in a recent video, so I really appreciate that and thought I'd give one back to him. Again, he's very supportive of all the people in the VC. He does a lot of contest entries and response videos, and yeah, he's got a very varied taste, likes a lot of 80s stuff, bit of 90s stuff, bit of 70s stuff as well, so he's all over the show, and yeah, really supportive guy. Next one is Dylan, DeathMetalD. I met him not that long ago, a couple of months ago, and I did give him a shout out before, but now that I've got to know him a bit more, I sort of understand his taste and just got to know him better, and he's just a really cool guy. Lots of he's done quite a lot of videos now and supports a lot of people in the VC as well, and he's got a really good taste. He likes a lot of thrash metal, death metal, black metal, hard rock as well, so a bit all over the place as well. And he's just a cool guy. He's just a relatable guy in his videos, and that's what I like. Next one, Green Sabre, and again, a guy that I've met not so long ago, but been really enjoying his content over the last couple of months. He does a lot of longer form videos, so sometimes it's difficult to keep up, but they're worth their time because he's very relatable. He's a musician, he's got a band, his band's called Green Sabre, and he did a really good video a couple of weeks ago called Guitar Heroes, talking about his favourite guitarists, and I definitely want to do a response to that, but I'll probably save that until I'm off my break, when I come back fresh, and I'll do a good and proper response video to that. And lastly, the guys at Metal Miners, Anthony and Codi. Again, both really cool guys. Codi hasn't been doing as much stuff recently, but they recently did a video with the two together, and that was the best video. I loved it. Just watching them two be themselves together, it's really awesome. And I know we're going to be getting Codi on the next Keep It Metal podcast live stream, so that's really cool. And Anthony's just a really awesome guy. Just he supports the underground death metal scene, and that's really, really cool to see. And they're all really great guys, so definitely go and check all these guys out. All the links will be in the description. The same for Johnny's channel and his contest video. And that's it. If you got this far, thanks ever so much for watching, and until the next time, keep it metal.